A few weeks ago, a mom commented on one of my videos. She said she watches my videos with her daughter, as she should, not teaching her the mechanics of driving, but because her daughter is terrified of driving. And she's watching with someone who explained it calmly, without yelling, without judgment. What was the first thing that made her feel like she might actually be okay behind the wheel? This comment was the whole reason this channel exists. Not the views, not the algorithm, but simply to serve as the tool to help people who have anxiety. Today, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to start the stat I could find out on drivers age 15 all the way up to 70. We're going to look at crash data, DMV fail reasons, what examiners actually watch for, who is changing or who is charging seniors with the licenses in 2026, and what is the true version of what's going viral. 100 facts, no fluff, because here's the one thing, whether you're 15 about to take your permit test or you're 68 and you got a letter from the Secretary of State and you got to renew your license. The fear is sustained fear, and it's mostly based on things that aren't even true. We're going to go into a deep data dive, and I want to welcome you in and make sure you are serious, you are consistent, you are ready to go. And if you're serious and you're consistent and you're ready to go, you're definitely going to learn. So if you're ready and I'm ready, then we need to go ahead and start discussing the risk. We're talking about the teen group. This is 15 to 19 years old. And we're going to go ahead and break this down. And I want to help you understand how significant this age group is. And I'm going to give you real facts, real data, and then I need you to make a commitment to join, and I need you to make a commitment to share. Let's go ahead and talk about these real facts. Drivers 16 and 17 have the highest crash risk of any group. 1,432 per 1 million miles driven. So what does this mean? You got to have good training. You have to have a good teacher. You have to have someone who's willing to help you and manifest positivity. I do those things, but we're not done. Let's look at the next fact. And this really makes you think. And I want to make you think, and I want to make you become aware of what's really going on. And when you are aware of what's going on, you're going to learn. Teens are nearly 5 times more likely to crash than experienced adult drivers. What does this mean? We're going to have to take a moment and think. And I really need you to think. And when you think, you're going to pause for a second. Why are these teens crashing? Why are they all over the road? One, mom and dad, you got to make a commitment. You're going to have to make a commitment to make sure they are learning. You're going to have to make a commitment that you're contacting the driving instructor, me. Your instructor should be talking to you after every single drive. What is the good things your son or daughter did? What is the bad things your son or daughter did? What's up, Max? How you doing? Right? Those things are extremely important. I really want all of you to lock in. I want all of you to do well. And let's continue to elevate. Okay? Let's elevate. Now, let's go on to our next fact about teen drivers. We're breaking down each category. Okay? And let's go ahead and live our best lives. And when we live our best lives, you're going to manifest positivity. So here it is. Teens speed on about 4 out of every trips they take. My suggestion, you leave early. You take your time. TIME. More likely, speeding is a big factor. I need you to slow down. Not like driving like an old man or old lady, but just slow down. Slow your roll. Be patient. I want you to arrive alive. Your parents want you to arrive alive. Remember, I put a lot of time into you, and that is really important that you understand the first category we're talking about are teen drivers. Let's continue. Now, over 30% of teen drivers include handheld phone use. About 5% involve speeding and texting at least once. So you guys are driving, you have your phone in your hand, you're driving. You have your phone on your leg, you're driving. You have your phone on the seat, you're driving. Your mind is not on driving, your mind is on your phone. Please focus on the task. That is safe driving. We're still focusing on teens. This is the risk and reality. And we're going to break down these examples. Okay, it's really important that you understand the risk, and we want to continue to elevate good learning and good teaching for all of you. And when you have good learning and good teaching, you're definitely going to elevate. One teen passenger in a car doubles the risk for 16 and 17-year-olds. The risk of having a crash, because you're social. We're all social. We all love to talk and interact. I didn't say you couldn't have your friends in the car, but what I am trying to say is focus on the task of driving. Now, let's talk about anxiety age group. Let's talk about late starters. Let's talk about nervous drivers, okay? I know, right? So now we're going to talk about anxiety. I get a lot of questions about anxiety. And if you have questions about anxiety, you need to put it in right now. I'm going to pause a second and breathe. All right, let's talk about anxiety for a moment. Anxiety is real. It is a social condition. You have to have gradual exposure. As an instructor, here's what I have observed. A huge share of my own content sections learned to drive later. This is starting somewhere in your late 20s, even older. And the fear doesn't disappear by age. It just gets quiet. What I need you to do is pause for a second. Don't shame someone because it takes them a little longer to drive. They may have a different family situation. We always want to be aware of when people are driving. We always want to give them support, okay? And this is really important that you understand support and you understand the goal. White knuckle moments, hands locked, shoulders up are the number one things my viewers describe in their first month of driving at any age. Whether you're 15, 25, 35, 45, breathe. Give yourself grace. At the end of the day, you are responsible for your car, not me, not your road tester, not your mom, not your dad. You must relax. And when we're continuing to talk about late starters, nervous drivers, we're going to look at the permit phase. What is being done state by state? What is being done? Hey, T, how you doing? What up? Come on, put in your questions. Let's eat. Let's eat, let's eat, let's eat. We're eating. We are getting better. We're manifesting positivity. And that's what I want all of you to do is manifest positivity. So let's talk about this. The permit phase isn't a failure state. It's where you're learning. It's where you're getting better. It's really important that you have grace on yourself. It's the only phase where you can make mistakes, and it's expected by law. It's expected by law. So you need to take advantage of the permit phase. You need to make your mistakes, going too fast, going too slow, turning too wide. It's okay. Don't let your mom and dad, boom. Your mom and dad will clock your T because you are scaring them. I have a brake in the driver's side car. I have a dual mirror. Remember, your mom and dad do not. So if you're going too fast and you're out of control, you're going to scare them. And we don't really want to scare our caregivers. Why? They're not going to want to drive with you anymore. Please share your story about anxiety. Please share your journey. T, thank you for helping me with my anxiety and everything I go through on the sidewalk or on the road. I let the cars go by because there's no sidewalk sometimes. T, first, I'm going to pray for you. Now you have the glory. T, I will empower you through my honest self-talk, me being real to you, so you can reach your goals. I want you to what? I want you to reach your goals. I want you to be successful, and I want you to grow. It's okay. You're going to take one step at a time, T. Look at my videos. Come on and talk. T, take your permit test. Go to the DMV. Answer those questions. T, I'll go over everything you need on the permit test. I will always help you. I will give you that support. I will make sure, because we all start out as what? Pedestrians, walking, riding our bike. As we grow up, you're going to need to get to a job. You're going to need to pick up your mom and dad. You're going to need to, if you have a child, take them back and forth to mom's house, dad's house, grandparents' house. You will manifest getting a job. You will manifest getting your license. I am here for you, and I'm glad you enrolled back in school. Amen. We are learners throughout our lifetime. Going to school doesn't mean that you're a teen. You can go to school at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Get that bag. That's what it's all about, getting your bag. And if you get your bag, you get it through education, you get it through hard work, and you're going to have transportation. I'm here to tell you, you got to have confidence when you get on the road. We're talking about adult learners right now. You put in your comments, right? How old are you? Where are you from? I'm from the Midwest. Shout out, T. Here we go. We're talking about adult learners. Let's eat. Adult learners or adults learning to drive for the first time often outperform teens. So teens, guess what? Someone in their 20s is going to outperform you because our mindset is different. Our hazard perception is different because we spent more time as a passenger. Now we're watching mom, we're watching dad, we're watching auntie, we're watching uncle. You have grown up in the back seat, from the baby seat to the car seat. Now you're watching mom and dad. Your older brother or sister has a different perspective. They really want to drop you off at school, but they're scared. They really want to go to hang out with their friends, but they're scared. This live will help you not be scared. That's right, not being scared. Now, I'm going to reframe this, and I want you to understand this. No one's going to do this except for you. Y-O-U, okay? And we're going to break it down, and I'm going to tell you how and why we break this down. Reframe it as saying, I am starting what actually matters to me. This is the single biggest mindset shift I see work. I want all of you to feel comfortable asking me questions. What's up, Jeremiah? I want all of you to feel comfortable sharing your journey, sharing your story, okay? There is anxiety. There is lack of motivation. I'm here because I'm personally sharing the journey, sharing the story. And thank you. I want all of you to feel positive and good about what we're doing. Most late starter anxiety isn't about the car. It's about being watched and judged for mid mistakes. You love my content because I'm real. I speak truth. I will clock your T. But I'm going to show you love. I'm going to be honest. I'm like your chilled uncle. Boy, don't hit that car. Girl, check your blind spot. Don't smash this car. I'm giving you the keys to the car I'm showing you love. I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad. I'm going to keep it real, right? So it's all about having consistency. We all want to be heard. No one is being ignored. We all have a journey. And when we work together, we help our community. This is not about me. This is not about you. This is about our community. And once you learn that driving is about a community, you'll get the selfishness out. Let's keep going. What is the biggest challenge you're faced to learn how to drive? I need you to type that in. What is the biggest challenge you face learning how to drive? I'm going to take a moment. Okay, I asked you to tap in. What is the biggest challenge that you face learning how to drive? 1 is obtaining a job. 2 is getting a vehicle. And 3, having someone to help you through the process. Those are challenges. We're here talking about driving. We're not focusing on anything else. And if you want to learn how to drive, this is where you belong. And how old were you when you finally got behind the wheel? It varies from person to person. This is a very serious question. It could be 16. It could be 17.9. It could be 18.1. It could be 19.3. It could be 24. It could be 22.1. It could be 29. It varies from person to person to person. We are talking about driving. And that's the most important thing that we're going to do right now. And if you're talking about something else, it is not important. So we're talking about driving. Let's go ahead and hit this next point. Anxious drivers who narrate their own check out loud, mirror, blind spot, signal, cut hesitation errors significantly. So when you're driving, mirror, blind spot, signal. You need to say this to yourself so you're consistent in your positive mindset. I'm one of the most positive people, hopefully, you're going to meet. I also want to share a real journey. Okay? Let's go on to the next. Again, what is one significant error that you have made as a beginning driver? How have you significantly changed this error? And what are you doing to best elevate yourself to become the best driver you can be? Isn't that why we're here? Isn't that why we're here? So it's really important that you understand new drivers are important. And we are celebrating drivers. We are celebrating people who want to learn. And when you share your journey and story on live, more people are appreciative. You are not the only adult that has never driven. You're just one of those who's excited to stop hiding it. You're taking time to be on this live. Your purpose is to learn. Your purpose is to get better. And we get better and learn. We are setting a foundation for the future. And when we set a foundation for the future, we will learn. And we will learn together. So you have to decide. We're making a decision right now to talk, to communicate, to have communication together. Okay? So by telling a story is super important. Share your personal story of a student who started late. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Okay, you had time to put in your story about a student or someone you know who started late. This is a soothing moment. I had a chance to teach a young lady, 33 years old. She went through some issues and trauma. She had lost her vision. She needed to have a special surgery. She obtained her special insurance. And we want to make sure we are learning best practice. She sought my services. She told me her goal. We mapped a plan, driving through neighborhoods, relearning her skill set, making left turns hand over hand, making right turns hand over hand, and learning together. When we learn together, we work on goals. Gradually, I got her on the main thoroughfare. Gradually, I got her in the downtown Mount Clemens Trap area. Gradually, I got her into downtown Atlanta, Georgia. We worked on parallel parking. We worked on speed control. I got her getting on the expressway. I observed her hesitating a little bit, and hesitation is normal. It takes time. I shared the journey and the story of people sharing and working together. We want to understand that we must work together. We must improve. Now, let's talk about mental age, the habits that sneak in. This is 35 to 65, and we're going across all learners. And I need you to understand, no matter what age you are, you have an opportunity to learn how to drive. And this opportunity is incredible. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Drivers age 55 to 64 are twice as likely to be distracted by conversations with a passenger than younger drivers. So we have the younger group who's distracted. We have the group 55 to 64 who's distracted. Guess what? They're both distracted. How do we handle this? What do we do? Let's think for a moment. Okay, we thought for a moment. Tell your friends, can you please stop talking? I'm trying to learn how to drive. I'm trying to get better. Distracted driving remains the top 3 factor in fatal crashes across adult age bracket and not just teens. So guess what? Teens and adults, we have got to limit the conversations that we have in the car. We need to take our time. We need to manifest control. Your number one goal when you're in the car is to drive safely. I've been driving for 20 years. I don't need reminders. That's the exact mindset that leads to bad habits because you think you're superior. No one is superior. Okay? Type in your question. You have questions, type it in. Because this is an interactive class. This is an interactive live. You want to share your information. You want to speak with intelligence. Speak with intelligence and share your information. Let's talk about the next topic that tends to cause all drivers to lose focus. Go ahead, put your question in. And we'll go ahead and talk about it. I'm going to give you some time to put your question in. Here we go. Okay, a few of you have talked about this. What's going on, Heavy? So, parking lots. The rule is simple. If you are parked and you're backing out or pulling in, you need to yield to pedestrians. You need to yield to cars moving straight. Cars moving up and down the parking lot have the right of way. If you're parked and you're backing out or pulling through, you need to yield for cars that are going up and down the parking lot. Also, pedestrians, and a lot of you are not talking about this, pedestrians are the most vulnerable in parking lots. You always need to yield for the pedestrians, whether they're beside you, behind you, in front of you. You need to have like a 360 camera in your brain, looking around, checking, and being aware. So cars going up and down the parking lot have the right of way. If you're backing out or pulling through, you need to yield. Pedestrians have the right of way in the parking lot over everyone and everything. Rolling stops and wide turns are overwhelmingly a casual driving habit. You're taking time to look at this. You're taking time to listen to this. We're not about being casual. We're about being our best authentic self. That is so important. Not a teen mistake. Examiners see this most in adults retesting after a lapse. A lapse, you're welcome. A lapse could be you lost your license, you got sick, you didn't renew it, you had some tickets, you went to court. Usually teen drivers don't have lapses. Once you get your license around 16 or 17, you're going to keep it through your life unless you get a bunch of tickets. And then that way you're going to be called into the DMV and you're going to have a hearing. And we'll talk about that on what a hearing is. So that is extremely important. Let's keep moving forward so we all understand what's going on. Talking on the phone without hands-free costs roughly 3 in 10 recorded driving distractions. So get off your phone, stay focused, lock into the driving task. Safety is no accident. Okay? I've recalled seeing students driving and having their phone on their leg. Yes, it's always okay to ask the instructor some questions because you are in the learning phase. You are in the permit phase. Ask your instructor questions. There's never a wrong question. Okay, I'm going to pose a question for all of you. And I'm going to drop it in, and then we're going to see if you're going to lock in. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate you. Okay, so here's your question. Be honest. When was the last time you actually reviewed the rules versus just relying on muscle memory? I'll say it again. Be honest. When is the last time you actually reviewed the rules versus just relying on muscle memory? Okay, let's talk about this. Robert said, haven't seen the rules. So I would say to Robert, are you really driving? We all are governed by rules. There's rules for lives. There's rules for beginning drivers. There's rules for truck drivers. There's rule for school bus drivers. Here is a rule for a school bus driver. They must stop at every single railroad crossing, stop, hit the air brakes, put it in park, open the door, look to the left to check the railroad tracks, look to the right to check the railroad tracks. That is a rule they must follow. We all have rules that govern society. Without rules, there would be chaos. So I would say to you, Robert, what are you doing? We all have rules. Period. Adults returning to driving or teens returning to driving after nearly a decade. Okay, and this is really important because we're all at a different point in our life. Are you in the beginning of learning how to drive? Are you in the middle of learning how to drive? Let's talk about this. Adults learning to drive, city dwellers, license reinstatements, face nearly identical anxiety patterns as first-time drivers. Will driving instructors mark off if you are switching lanes right after making a left turn? I would say you need to stay in the lane for a minimum 3 seconds. Once you make your left turn, you need to go at least 1.5 to 3.5 seconds. You can't just make a left turn and cut over because you're going to cut over and hit someone. Stay in the lane a car length, a 1001, a 1002, then make your lane change. We don't want to rapidly cut over to the left and then rapidly cut over to the right. You would be marked down. Be patient. Take your time, signal early, check your blind spot. That was a second. That was 2 seconds. I really need all of you to lock in, lean into these examples, okay? This is really important. Next, we're talking about defensive driving refreshers. As an instructor, every couple years, thank you for the thumbs up. Let's eat. Let's eat. Love you guys. Let's keep it going. Let's go to the next question. Defensive driving refreshers. Every 2 years, as a state certified instructor, I have to take professional development classes. You're welcome. I appreciate you. I want you to have a safe driving environment. Okay? I want you to keep going and keep getting better. Okay? Yeah, got to hold it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Back to work, hauling water. And remember that water does slosh back and forth, slosh back and forth. Thank you for being safe out here. Thank you for sharing. Okay? Let's talk about defensive driving refreshers. Taking voluntary. Okay, are they one of the few things proven to reset bad long-term habits? Yes. As an instructor, every 2 years, we take professional development courses. We go through a background check. It is needed. Many of you do not take those professional development courses, those background checks. Guys, I will put together some ideas about a professional development course. It is so important that you lock in. Thank you for sending that, Rose. Thank you for that love. I really appreciate you because we want to have good long-term habits. It is so important that thank you. It's important that we set those good rules. I'm here getting better as an instructor. I want all of you to get better as students. I want you to feel comfortable joining this live. I want you to feel free to put your questions in. This is a no judgment zone. What don't you understand about this? I'm here to become better. I want to make you better, right? I do appreciate it. And we want to keep moving, keep hauling a 40-foot trailer. That's real. Hey, I want you to lock in. I want you to get better all the time. Let's keep going. Now, we're talking about another group right now. And I want to talk about what actually fails people so we can get better. All right. So we're going to lay this down and then I'm going to give you some time right now. And you're going to tell me, what do you think actually fails people? So we're going to give you some time. Okay, I asked you to put in what actually fails people. And thank you for the roses. Thank you for the claps. Thank you for the support. Thank you all. Love. First, contacting the curb or an object during a parking maneuver is an automatic fail in most states. I'll say it again. Contacting the curb or an object during a parking maneuver is an automatic fail in most states. Full stop, no partial credit. Period. Period. Next. You're getting all the facts. So let's lock in. Here we go. When you rack up over 15 minor faults in most jurisdictions, and still pass, perfection is not the bar, safety is. So you can get minors going past the stop line, drifting out of your lane, that's a minor. A major is running a light. A major is not checking blind spots. A major is not looking left and right as you go over railroad tracks. I'm a state certified instructor. I'm giving you the facts. We're speaking truth. So you can rack up minors. It varies from state to state. The bar is safety. Okay? I need all of you to type in safety. Please do that right now. Type in safety if you're here and alive. Type it in. All right, guys, I asked you to type in safety. Thank you for typing in safety. Show me you're connected. This is an interactive live. We're not robots. We're real. We're keeping it real. The single most common parallel park fail isn't bad steering. It's not checking for approaching traffic before you comment. So you need to remember your goal in parallel parking. Get the car in the space. Don't hit the curb. Don't encroach over a line and hit a cone. Okay? We're speaking facts. What actually fails most people? Most people. Let's go ahead and keep locking in. We're putting it in right now. Ask questions as we go along. Here we go. Next, misuse of mirrors is one of the most cited fail reasons on the test sheet across every age group. Guys, I'll say it again. Misuse of mirrors is one of the most cited fail reasons on test sheets across every age group. Stop misusing mirrors. You check, you back to your test. You check, you're back to your test. You check, you're back to your task. You're not looking in the mirror, squeezing a pimple. Oh my God. Next, we're talking about what actually fails people. You put in questions about what actually fails people. I'll tell you, I'll let you know. Because I'm a state certified instructor, you need to go ahead and follow. You need to go ahead and subscribe. You need to go ahead and lock me in because we are giving you value. We are helping you learn. Let's talk about this. If an examiner has to physically or verbally intervene, that's an instant fail. I'm going to say it again. If an examiner has to physically, this means touch the wheel, or verbally tell you, you need to slow down, or you need to check before you go, that's an instant fail. No exceptions. What? No one should be telling you how to drive when you're on your test. We're going to pause for a second on that. Right? It's really important. Next. These are instant fails, not what you think. Let's talk about this. Y turns. Y turns are one of the most common test day errors, and almost always from casual habits, not nerves. So if you're making wide turns, you're going to fail. You're going to go into the left lane. You're going to make a wide slur turn, making a left turn and hit the right curb. You're going to cut off your car. We always talked about turning in the nearest lane. You must do that, and you must understand the goal. I've always showed you fundamentals. And when I take the time to put these videos together, the goal is for you to learn to avoid those test fails. It is so important. We're trying to build good habits. Next, I need you to think, what is the next common actual fail? Type it in. I'll give you time. All right, let's break it down. I asked you to type in what actually fails people. What are some of the most common fails? I gave you time. Now let's talk about this. Driving too slow can fail you just as driving too fast. I'll say it again. Driving too slow can fail you just as driving too fast. Hesitation reads as hazards to the examiner. That's it. You got to be right on the speed limit. We're putting the next question in. We're dropping these knowledge bombs. We're trying to get you ready for your test. I need you to lock in. I need you to follow. I need you to subscribe. I need you to do all those things so you get notifications. So when I'm going live, you're like, he's live. Let me get in right now. Because I'm giving you my best authentic life. I want to help you learn how to drive. I want you to get better. And we are breaking it down. Finishing a parallel park more than 2 car lanes from the correct spot is a disqualifier in several states. I'll say it again. Finishing a parallel park more than 2 car lanes from the correct spot is a disqualifier. Many of you asked about parking. I'm telling you right now. If you're having fun, type in fun into the chat. I'm having fun. If you're having fun, type fun into the chat. Show me you're here. If you're having fun, type in fun. I'm having fun because I see all of you as learners. You're getting better and you are improving. And that's why we're here. We're here to get better. It's going great. And we are talking about what needs. What's up, Rye? How you doing? All right, let's talk about this. Lane changes are scored on a strict sequence. Mirror, blind spot, signal, move. I'll say it again. Lane changes are scored on a strict sequence. Mirror. Are you checking your inside-outside mirror? Are you checking your blind spot? Are you looking over your shoulder if it's the left lane change? Are you looking over your right shoulder if it's a right lane change? I'll be there in a moment. Are you signaling? And then do you move? Skip a step and it's marked even if it was safe. Okay? If you're listening, type safe into the live. I type safe in. If you're listening, type safe. Okay? Type safe if you're listening. We want to be safe. And for you, I'm dropping in a question. And I need you to answer. And I'm going to give you time. What's one fail reason on this list that you didn't know until now? I'll say it again. What is one fail reason on this list you didn't know to now? I asked you to type in what is one fail reason on this list that you didn't know until about now. That's what I want to leave you with today. Again, what is one fail reason on this list that you didn't know to now? Type that in, leave that comment, and we will continue. Bye.